It is showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Talk with the Sports Desk. I'm Ryan. You can call me Splash. He's Jack. He's that way.
I'm this way, yeah.
Okay, wow. He's Jack. I'm Splash. We are the Sports Desk. We're back. Episode 24. We got that Kobe Bean Bryant edition. How excited are you, Jack?
It's fantastic. There's a lot to talk about in the sports world today. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
So we're going to jump right in. Some big NFL news. Probably the biggest NFL news of all time. Bigger than any Super Bowl. Bigger than any player. Alternate helmets are back. Yesterday on the main show, we did a throwback jersey giveaway in honor of perhaps the best rule ever returning.
As a uniform and logo and whatever you want to call that, or as a geek of all that stuff, I am so hyped for alternate helmets. Like, this is insane.
Yes, sir.
The creamsicles can come back for the Bucks. They can bring those back. I know the Broncos, they used to have some. They are not. What, is it the Broncos or was it another team? I'm forgetting.
Describe it.
It was a blue helmet, a team that normally doesn't wear blue. I forget which team posted about it.
I know the Patriots can wear an alternate helmet. Cincinnati can match their white color rush, one of the best color rush jerseys in the NFL. They can match it instead of it's orange with black stripes. It can be white with black stripes.
I'm going to pull this up.
Eagles can go with a Kelly green,
Yes, the Eagles, I know they've been pushing for this for a while.
Bears, Steelers can wear some throwback stuff. The Ravens are pretty boring, so I got nothing to say there. But I'm excited. You can get maybe some red from the Patriots. Like I mentioned, Packers, Kelly Green Eagles.
And the Rams
can
do this. Too. Wait for it. I made this just before the show today.
Saucy.
They can wear that if they want to.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's the direction that they're leaning in. So
okay. What's your favorite throwback jersey?
Other than the Rams, I like the This is a good question. It's got to be the creamsicles, though. I think.
Yeah, the creamsicles are iconic, even though the Bucks sucked for a lot of those years. The black Falcon alternate.
Oh, that one was.
I got it right. I got the hand right.
Yes.
Look at that. Ooh. Saucy. Like, you get a Michael Vick or Deion Sanders, either or. 7's a gorgeous number in them. 21's a gorgeous number in them. Got that Pacha. Ooh, yes. Yeah. And then, if you want to jump to other sports, the Vancouver Grizzlies, they have a banger. I love my throwback Cavs.
I wonder if
actually all the throwback Cavs logos.
It sucks that this was just an Adidas thing that they thought of. I think the NFL doing reverse retro jerseys, that'd be cool. Little that would be.
I don't know what the Ravens would do. I don't want to wear mustard pants ever again. I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be down for like an all white or an all our blackout games are great. Never lose at home when we wear the all black. The all whites would be great. But either way, exciting times in the NFL. Alternate helmets are coming back.
So there's a few rules to this. Yeah. The helmet shell must be the exact same that they wear, that the player wears all year. So they get to pick a helmet shell before the year, and then it has to be the exact same. And then they have to wear it at least twice, I believe, in practice, just to make sure it's as safe as possible.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just making it safe.
So you're talking I don't have a helmet to demonstrate, but the
shell is like everything that isn't the face mask. There's like the shell that goes over your head, and then the face mask, you can obviously unscrew it everywhere. And the shell is just like the part that isn't the mask. So
okay, understood.
It just makes it more safe. I like that they're doing that. They they want to just make things as safe as possible.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's no problem with that. Like, if it's the exact same, then I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, for sure. And this is just like a color thing. This is aesthetic. There's probably no examples in NFL history that wearing a different helmet matters. Although Marquise Brown was pretty close, because it looked like he changed his helmet late in the season and then started going off. But
I think
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a player's choice at this point. I think it's just down to that sort of thing.
Yeah. But speaking of player's choice, we had a player decide to go to Pittsburgh yesterday, Pittsburgh released longtime offensive guard David DeCastro, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, one of the best guards, probably the Hall of Very Good. I think he would need a couple, like another All-Pro or two, a couple more Pro Bowls to be Hall of Fame caliber, but Hall of Very Good, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is an interesting release by the Steelers, and they replaced him with Trai Turner.
Trai Turner, not the national shortstop. Trai Turner, the longtime Panthers guard, played with the Chargers last year, rocking the Chargers hat.
Oh, I didn't even realize you were wearing the Charger hat.
Yes, sir.
I should have figured because of the powder blue.
Yeah, rocking with the Chargers hat. He didn't play very well last year. Like, Trai Turner is one of the guys that offensive linemen are generally underrated. Trai Turner went to 5 Pro Bowls. And say what you will about Pro Bowls being a popularity contest. I've roasted the Ravens social media, or I've applauded the Ravens social media because they're really good at getting bums into the Pro Bowl. And I could talk for an hour on how historically the Steelers have a generally overrated offensive line. They have a couple all-timers, but say Pouncey might be a Hall of Fame center for being an average to above average center for 10 years. But DeCastro is the legit guy. You talked the 2020 offensive line for Pittsburgh wasn't very good. Villanueva is not good at football. I don't want him starting at right tackle for Baltimore. A lot of the unit is young. Even now, you bring Kendrick Green, rookie at Illinois, who I like a lot. But people are like, oh, yeah, he's already the heir apparent to Pouncey, and he's going to be an all-pro. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. It's like, hold your horses, Steelers fans. But David DeCastro out, Trai Turner in. What do you think, Jack?
I mean, it's definitely a big change when you're letting go somebody who's been with the team that long. I think that I don't think Trai Turner is fantastic, but who knows? It could be one of those fresh starts things as well. Like he could just like maybe wasn't in the right system, maybe needs a new team to kind of sort himself out. And I think that it could work. So absolutely. I don't hate the replacement. It's just definitely a pretty significant change when you were releasing somebody like DeCastro who was there for so long. So absolutely.
And if there's any team in the NFL that you are going to say, okay, we're going to bring in this guard, trust that he's going to be good, it's a pretty short list. It's wherever Dante Sarnecki is coaching, which I believe he's retired. Denver, you trust. Pittsburgh, you trust. And Green Bay. Green Bay is probably number 1 on the list. Then wherever Sarnecki is coaching, and then Denver. Pittsburgh's right there. So if you're any landing spot that you're going to say, yeah, Trai Turner's going to be pretty good this year, it's Pittsburgh. And I don't love Pittsburgh's offensive line. I think it is a downgrade from DeCastro to Turner, but in fairness to Pittsburgh, they save some money while doing it. They can invest in other positions on the team. The team's in flux. They have lots of good players, but you want to fill in another gap here, replace Mike Hilton, have some like depth at the cornerback position in general, a guy at other spots in the offensive line. You know, competition is the key here. Unless you're the Colts, unless you're the Packers for the most part, and you have this perfectly set offense, unless you're the Chiefs, and you have this perfectly manufactured offensive line, all of a sudden, Pittsburgh needs some competition. Center position with Kendrick Green, tackle guard. Pittsburgh can only get better from here. I was roasting people in the group chat. You might have the worst line in football, and you got worse losing to Castro. Trai Turner is trending in the right direction, but it's still not a unit you're happy with.
That's kind of what I agree with. I don't think that this is an upgrade, but Turner is kind of trending upwards. So we'll see where it goes for them.
Yeah, Turner can be a good NFL player. He's been good in the past. I don't want to say he was an elite guard.
How long has he been on the Chargers?
He was with the Chargers for 1 season, just
one. Okay, I was gonna say, because if he was on the Chargers for a while, then there would have been some historically bad things to talk about because of the Chargers, man.
Oh, the Chargers. Hey, they're trending in the right direction.
They are. I'll give them that.
They are moving in the right direction.
They sent me into cardiac arrest by hiring Brandon Staley, but it is what it is.
So Pittsburgh, I think they are in a better situation now than they were when we had the show yesterday. We were talking about, they cut DeCastro. Today they have Trai Turner. They have a guy that can play right guard at a decent level. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, I don't expect him to be like God tier. I don't even know if he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year because there's a lot of really good guards. I don't know. Even if you were doing like an AFC North Pro Bowl team, you probably take both Cleveland guys over him. Yes?
Yeah.
Bitonio and Teller. I mean, I think that's absolutely fair. I don't really trust Ben Cleveland as a rookie or Zeitler for Baltimore. And then Cincinnati, like Jackson Carman's going to play guard for them. Okay, whatever. So either way you slice it, Pittsburgh is a better team than they were yesterday. Maybe not as good of a team as they were 2 days ago, but they're going to win 9 games. They're going to win 10 games. They're always in the playoffs. So with that said, Jack, we had a tight end discussion in the work chat the other day.
We did. I would say it wasn't as bad as the wide receiver discussion, but there was definitely a lot of discussion over the whole tight end thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw it up real quick.
We got to take a look at the top 10 tight ends, or at least our top 10 tight ends. We talked about it on Timeout last night, and we're gonna give our own thoughts on this here.
So I'm just from the jump, I disagree. 1, 2. Like, with all due respect to Travis Kelce, because he has redefined what it means to be a productive tight end, George Kittle is the best tight end in football. I know he only played 8 games. He should have been a Pro Bowler last year. And so what? He didn't match the production Kelce had in 2020.
I also feel like...
Oh, go ahead.
I also feel like it's more of a result thing as well, though, because both of these guys were in a Super Bowl recently. Kittle lost it. Kelce, I think, was a pretty good reason why the Chiefs won Super Bowl 54. And then they reappeared in the Super Bowl in 55. So I feel like
not the fault of George Kittle. Is George Kittle?
Yeah, no, we're not blaming George Kittle for that at all. I think Kittle played pretty solid in those games as well.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I understand the injuries with Kittle. I understand that he only played 14 games a couple years ago, and he only played 8 this year. I get it. And Kelsey's out there every single week unless the Chiefs are on. Chiefs have like a week 17 that they don't have to play anybody. I totally get all those things, but it does not get around the fact that George Kittle is devastating on the football field. What he does in terms of yards after catch. Jack, you can appreciate this watching Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
George Kittle is a menace with the football. He is a running back with the football. He is practically Derrick Henry out running routes as a tight end. It is unbelievable. It is devastating to watch. It is the biggest gut punch you can imagine trying to tackle this guy. He shakes off a tackle, 15 extra yards. Talk to Saints fans. They know what I'm talking about. Talk to anyone in the division. They know what I'm talking about. And in the Shanahan offense has evolved over time. There have been superstars that have played in the Shanahan offense. You go all the way back. Shannon Sharp with Mike Shanahan in Denver. George Kittle is better than Shannon Sharp ever was. As a blocker, 100%. As a receiver, maybe not. I think he's right there. I think he has more yak ability. I think he can create more offensively. And you're talking about a guy that is the best blocking tight end in football. I don't want to hear it, Bree. Stop slobbering on Gronkowski. George Kittle is the best blocking tight end.
That angered me. That angered me actually a lot last night when she was talking about Gronk was better than Higbee.
We can get back to that. But what Kittle does as a blocker is second to none. The only guy that in the NFL that I see block like Kittle does is Nick Boyle. And Nick Boyle is purely a blocking tight end. George Kittle is probably the second or third best pure receiving tight end, and he's the best blocking tight end. Travis Kelce, on the other hand, has improved dramatically as a blocker. So is Waller. So is Andrews. I can talk about them. But Kittle brings the entire package. He is a walking first down. He is unbelievable, and he is my tight end 1. Kelce's 2, Waller's 3, Andrews is 4. I'm cool with the rest of that, but Kittle over Kelce for me, 100%.
And I feel like we are placing a lot of stock, though, in Kyle Pitts, putting him at number 6 when he hasn't even taken a snap.
I didn't have Pitts in my top 10.
I think it's a little. I know both of us kind of have agreed before. We've talked about it before. How Kyle Pitts definitely
it was on there, right? Yeah. Wow. Let me find where Pitts was on my ranking.
He has the potential to be a top 10 tight end. He absolutely does. I think he can definitely do it. I just think it's a little bit bold putting him at number 6 when he hasn't even taken a snap in the NFL yet. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's I remember we were talking about quarterbacks on the app, and people generally will put Lawrence 31, Wilson 32. I disagree with that because I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence is better than, say, Andy Dalton. I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson is better than Sam Darnold. Now, I don't have any NFL film to tell me that, but I can be pretty sure that they're not the 31st and 32nd best quarterbacks. Tight ends, Kyle Pitts is at 6 on this list. Frankie, what are you doing? I can say what you will about moving him up. Like, he's not going to be tight end 32. I don't expect him to be tight end 32. He's a better tight end than anyone Jacksonville has had in their franchise. He's better than anyone the Jets have ever employed at the tight end position besides Dustin Keller. But like, you're talking about at 6. Like, you're telling me before he has played an NFL snap,
he's already number 6.
Yeah, you're going to take him over about 3/4 of the league's tight end ones. And of course, this isn't factoring in like the Boyles of the world, the Foster Moreaus of the world, the Ross Dwellys of the world, the 50 million guys Seattle has, because all of them get hurt. This Noah Gray for the Chiefs. This isn't factoring in, like, this is out of tight end ones. You're taking Kyle Pitts before he's played a snap, over 75% of them. I for fantasy, okay, sure. I get the entering 2021. I totally understand, but I can't get behind putting Kyle Pitts that high. Pitts is going to be awesome. He was prospect 1 on my board. I get it, but 6 is high for me.
Again, I think he can get there. I think he absolutely can get there. But it's you can't put him as high as 6 when he hasn't taken a snap in the league yet, especially with the Falcons. Mm-hmm. Like Matt Ryan is
okay. He's going to be really productive. Say what you will about tight ends progressing in the NFL. Guess what? Kyle Pitts doesn't have to be the normal blocking type tight end in year 1. You saw TJ Hawkinson. He had like one good game and then was a blocking tight end for the rest of the year. Kyle Pitts doesn't have to be the blocker in year 1. That's Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. So Pitts can do more of the Julio Jones stuff. And I know it's going to be a difficult transition, but if there's any player you can kind of like kick the tight end transition down the road a little bit with, it is Kyle Pitts, because he doesn't have to be the tight end on the field every single play. Hayden Hurst can do that. And Hayden Hurst can do so much athletically too. So it's not even a run heavy tail, that you're saying, oh, they have Hayden Hurst on the field. It's a guaranteed run. No, you can throw the ball at Hayden Hurst. He was the fastest man on the Ravens in 2019, oddly enough. So the production I think is going to be there for Pitts, and you don't even have to run him out maybe 20% of the snaps and say, okay, Pitts, you don't have to block on this play. We got Hurst. We have a better scheme with Arthur Smith. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with a rookie tight end, but don't think of Kyle Pitts as a rookie tight end. Think of him as a rookie weapon that eventually will be deployed as a tight end, but he doesn't have to go through all the – if I'm Arthur Smith, if I'm the Falcons, I focus on getting Kyle Pitts up to NFL speed in terms of route running, in terms of wide receiver stuff, and then the blocking can come along with it. We see Darren Waller. He was a guy drafted as a wide receiver out of Georgia Tech. He's a tight end now because after 6 years, he has improved as a blocker. He always had the receiving talent. Pitts has the receiving talent. He's going to need to improve as a blocker, but throw him out there week 1 as essentially Julio Jones. Like if he's your wide receiver 2 with Calvin Ridley, that's a dynamic offense. Russell Gage, your wide receiver 3. And it's a little counter to what you expected. Tight end, you see the NFL tight ends on the screen. I don't think Pitts needs to be deployed as a pure tight end in year 1. I think if he's a pure tight end in year 1, I think Atlanta's not using him correctly.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing before we move on, who did we put in the fan vote that went over Mike Gesicki, or that Mike Gesicki beat out in the fan vote, I guess?
Okay, we had Mike Gesicki, Logan Thomas, Washington, Tyler Higbee, LA, Robert Tonyan, Green Bay, Rob Gronkowski, Tampa Bay. And then Johnny Smith from the Patriots.
So, like, in the wide receiver vote, I was fighting for Robert Woods to be in the top 10 because I was like, this guy needs to... His yards after catch is just insane, and he's been one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league. He's only going to get better with Matt Stafford. Mm-hmm. I was not really fighting for Tyler Higbee to get into the top 10 here. Mm-hmm. I think Higbee's solid.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's very stable. I think he can... Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very productive. That 3-touchdown game against Philly this past season was, I think, his first time ever with 3 touchdowns. I don't think that he's that explosive though on a normal basis. Mm-hmm. Gronk, I feel like this is where we took issue with Gronk, or at least where I did. I don't think Gronk is he didn't really show up in the first few weeks of the season.
That's fair, and he was coming off retirement.
Yeah, for sure. So there's going to be some rust there. He did show up when it mattered. I'll give him that. Like, obviously, he had 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
2 touchdowns.
That's never a bad thing. I mean, I don't know. It's Gesicki's also been very consistent, I think. So I think this is a solid choice. Other than that, I mean.
So before we move on, I do have my top 10. I have Kittle at 1, Kelsey 2, Waller 3, Andrews 4, Hawkinson 5, Goddard at 6, Hunter Henry, friend of the show, at 7, Noah Fant at 8, Mike Gesicki at 9, and then I throw Robert Tonyan in at 10. And again, with Pitts, he doesn't have a snap yet. Like, people bust. I don't want to. Kyle Pitts is almost as bust proof as you're going to get, but he is playing tight end, and tight end is a historically difficult position to coalesce into the league. Like, were any of us saying Jeff Okudah is immediately a top 10 guy? No. Even Jalen Ramsey, who became the premier corner in the NFL. In 2016, no one was telling you that he was a top 5 corner. 2017, yes. But when he was a rookie, no one was saying all offseason, yeah, Jalen Ramsey is going to be the number 1 corner in the NFL this season. He's going to be a top 5 corner in the NFL this season. No. And Jack can attest to this. Jalen Ramsey is really good at football, and Jalen Ramsey is, as far as I'm concerned, the best cornerback in football, and has been 2 out of the last 3 years.
I wasn't talking about him like that, or what am I trying to say? I wasn't talking about him like that in 2016 or even 2017 when the Jaguars made it to the AFC Championship game. I wasn't talking about Jalen Ramsey like he was this elite guy. I knew he had the potential, but it would take time, especially in a system like Jacksonville.
Yeah, and you need, I don't know. There's even, I'll be totally honest that after the 2018 season, Mahomes won MVP. I didn't have him as quarterback 1. I had Russell Wilson as quarterback 1. It takes time for these things. Wilson was awesome in 2018.
He was.
So it takes time with these things. Pitts will be very good. He will be a top 5 tight end probably by the end of the season. And if he is, cool. If he's not, cool. Whatever happens, best of luck to Kyle. Best of luck to the Falcons. Can I do the correct hand? I did the correct hand again.
What a time
to be alive. So, yeah, we're going to hop off the tight end conversation. Wow, I just totally missed the button there. Okay. Okay.
All right.
We're going to hop off the tight end conversation for a little bit.
Let's move on to some hockey.
We got a game 7 tonight, boys and girls.
We do have a game 7 tonight. Before we talk about that, though, we had an elimination last night.
Ooh, yeah.
We had Les Montreal Canadiens, however you say it in French, 3 final. I can't remember. I wasn't alive.
Wow. A certain Los Angeles Kings.
We don't talk about that. We'll talk about 2012 instead. When this is a pretty similar scenario though to 2012 because no one had the Kings going as far as they did in 2012. No one really had the Habs going this far either.
I think everyone had them losing to Toronto. Toronto's a great team. Austin Matthews scoring goals. They were the number 1 team in the North all season. It's like time to bring the cup to Montreal. Or time to bring the cup home, baby. The Maple Leafs haven't won
the Maple Laughs.
Yeah, the Maple Laughs, 1967.
That was the first major expansion year for the NHL. That's how long it's been. That was when they doubled from 6 teams to 12.
It is a travesty, but congratulations, Montreal.
Vegas, though, I want to talk about the Golden Knights for a second because, did they fall apart or what? I mean. I understand there's running into a hot goaltender in the playoffs.
And then there's running into Carey Price, who...
Yeah, Carey Price is just absurd.
Okay, Jack, pause for a second. Is there a conversation that Carey Price is like a Mount Rushmore goalkeeper or goaltender ever?
If there's not, I don't know why there isn't.
Okay, because I know when, say, Mike Trout or Tom Brady, these all-time active greats are playing... You start to have this GOAT conversation. Are they the best ever? Is Carey Price potentially if he wins the cup this year?
If he wins the cup this year, yes.
This is an all-time Conn Smythe?
He should absolutely be the Conn Smythe winner. He should absolutely be a Mount Rushmore goalie. I feel like he because at his age, The thing about Carey Price, I like to compare him to Jonathan Quick, not because bias.
He
but
won an
because,
MVP, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It was like 2011 Hart Trophy winner.
The thing is, though, like both of them have been playing for a considerably long amount of time. Quick is sort of burned out. Carey Price has been playing, what, like 13 years or something like that?
14th season.
14th year. I was close. And he's just playing lights out. Like, for him to be in year 13 and playing like he should be winning the Conn Smythe, this could be, if he keeps this up against Tampa or New York, whoever they play in the final, this could be the rare case of we see a losing player win the Conn Smythe. It is possible.
Do you know the last time that happened?
I believe that was with the Ducks goaltender in 2003. Yes. I forget who.
Jean-Sebastien Giguère.
Giguère, yeah.
Anyways,
the last time a losing player won the Conn Smythe. And I want to say too, running into a hot goaltender is not an excuse for Marc-Andre Fleury to play as terribly as he did this series. Like I thought this was gonna outdo Cam Talbot against Marc-Andre Fleury. I still think that's the duo of the goaltending battle of the playoffs. I would have said Fleury Price, but Fleury just shit the bed. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not gonna hold back on that. He shit the bed. He did not play well. I don't think I have to play his game 3 highlight to like when he
kind of like played it off. I remember getting a notification from Bleacher Report with a laughing emoji. Like you just blew a game in the final, or you just blew a game in the Stanley Cup semifinal. Like I don't know about that one. You don't see. I guess it's a different circumstance, but say like you didn't see Will Smith, the Braves pitcher, celebrating after he gave up a home run to Dodgers catcher Will Smith. You know, you don't. It was weird vibe, and Fleury's the guy that's won 3 cups with the Pens. He's not the guy that you're expecting that from, and it just caught me off guard, and that's kind of like the.
I watched it live and I just laughed. I watched it live and I just laughed. Like that doesn't happen from a guy like Fleury in the playoffs too, nonetheless. And I feel like at that point, Vegas, that was really the start of their collapse. I feel like they panicked too because they actually benched Fleury for that. They had Robin Leonard starting in Game 4.
Fleury was back for Game 5, correct?
Fleury was back for Game 5, and he continued to make mistakes. I remember there was a goal. I think Montreal's first goal of the game. He like dove out to save a rebound, to save a shot, and then the rebound came out, and the net was wide open. So
yeah, ugly. I got a trivia question for you, Jack. How many Vezinas has Carey Price won?
I want to say 2.
He's won 1 just 2015. That was also his MVP Hart Trophy.
I thought he won 1 in 2012.
He was actually not in the top 10 in 2012.
The thing is, I don't think Carey Price is a Vezina finalist this year. I learned this recently. That's a shame. But I at the same time, Montreal was not playing anywhere near the way that they were now. And before we move on, can we talk about Cole Caulfield? This guy is the real deal.
Fill me in.
This guy is playing like a freak at this level. Like he's just going off. Like he's scoring so many goals. Like for this rookie that's been talked about like crazy, and I actually think he's worth the hype.
Oh, as opposed to
some other to Mr. to Kirill 2 goals in 7 games. Kaprizov.
He scored in Game 7.
He did. It wasn't enough, but he did score.
Well,
but Cole Caulfield, though, I think he's actually living up to it because he's scoring goals like consistently, and they're just these dirty goals. Like Montreal gives him a breakaway, and it's just like this guy is going to score unless he tries to go 5-hole, unless he gets too fancy with the puck. He's going to score. He's just playing lights out. Like I really think that he actually like is making a solid contribution to their offense, and he's going off. His linemate, I think Nick Suzuki, who they actually acquired.
Playoff run.
They acquired Suzuki in the trade for Max Pacioretty to the Golden Knights.
Yeah, I just saw like Vegas 67 skating, and it's like, you could have been on the Montreal.
You could have stayed, man. You could have stayed.
You could have flipped the script here, and then it probably wouldn't have been as surprising. Like Pacioretty is one of the better players in hockey, and it's
Habs fans gave him the Zach Parise treatment, or I guess now it's the John Tavares treatment, booing him every time he touched the puck. You don't want your former player to have success against you.
No.
No. And I know we're kind of going on about this, but actual last thing before we talk about Game 7 tonight. the Canadiens are now the first Eastern Conference team since, I think, the Philadelphia Flyers to win the Clarence Campbell Bowl, which is meant for the Western Conference champion. And the Canadiens are an Eastern team.
Well, hey, you want to technically count the Detroit Red Wings? Because now they're in the East, but in 2009 they won it as a member of the West.
But the thing is, this is a temporary year,
right? Yeah.
Like the Red Wings they had won that they were meant to be in the West.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, like the Canadiens were meant to be in the East this year, but because COVID screwed everything up, here we are. Hockey in 2021. What else can I say?
Here we are. And speaking of hockey in 2021, tonight's game, Islanders at Lightning.
Oof.
Who will play in the next hockey game? It'll be Canadiens at someone. Who's gonna? Where are we playing? Are we playing in the Nassau Coliseum? Or are we playing down in Tampa?
I feel like we might be playing in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and I only say that because I feel like home ice actually has had a really big impact on this series. It feels like the home team has just been doing so much better. I think there has been like 1 or 2 away wins in this series still.
Yeah, I believe they split games 1 and 2. Tampa won game 3 up in Nassau.
So here's the thing though. Kucherov might not be in the lineup. He was hurt.
Braden Point is, and
Braden Point has been going off. Braden Point's been going off, but Kucherov has been also going off. Like right from the get go, he scored in his first game back. Fair. And I know people have talked about like ACL or stuff like that. He had a repair surgery on that or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. He was on the long-term injured reserve so that they wouldn't have to pay the cap. I remember I tweeted about this on the uSTADIUM account, on the uSTADIUM NHL account, and I remember one of the reply I got was, or that he left the game with injury, and the reply I got was, so I guess this means they're back under the cap now, or something like that.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, no, it's okay. No, Kucherov getting injured is not funny.
This is true.
The idea of them moving under the cap in the playoffs is funny to me. Stay off my case, Mom. I'm not laughing at injuries.
It wasn't a major injury, I'll say that, but it could keep him out tonight. If it does keep him out tonight, they're going to rely a lot more on Braden Point, but I feel like the home ice advantage will be a little too much.
Will Braden Point score?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he scores.
7 for 7. I think that'd be just the second time ever.
Keeps the streak alive.
7 games. Actually, before we move on, I do want to throw one more stat. Montreal ended the playoffs with the fewest points of the 16 playoff teams. This is the third time in 12 years that the number 16 seed, if you will, in the playoffs has made the Cup final. Do you know the other two, Jack?
One was the Kings, I'm pretty sure.
No, they were not number 16. They were just 8 in the West.
Okay. Who were they then? That's a good question.
2010 Flyers, 2019 Stanley Cup champion, St. Louis Blues.
That makes sense. The Flyers in the first round. The Flyers in the first round, they reverse swept Boston, and then the Blues were in like last place in January, and they came all the way back to win the Cup. So that makes sense.
Yeah, talk about parity. That you're talking 3 16 seeds. You go to the NBA, the only 8 seed, as far as I can remember, that has made any run, let alone a run to the finals, is the 99 Knicks. That was a lockout year. That was a much more talented Knicks team than a 37 and was a 27 and 23 record, something like that. They're a much more talented team than that. It was just 50 games. It's kind of like the Lakers this year, that they're a better team than finishing seventh.
They're a better team than this year shows. It's just injuries and the short season kind of.
Yeah, just some goofy. It's some goofiness, you know.
The short off season, I'll say too.
Actually, I'll make the comparison. Take the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. They just suck. They can't beat anybody. Actually, they did beat Milwaukee the other day. They're like 1-24 in their last 25. Take that. That's like Cleveland Browns level of ineptitude. But at least for the Browns, it's 16 games a season. So if you go 0-16 or 1-15, it happens. When you stretch out the season, the winning percentages start to move closer. You know, you're never going to have a team in the NBA go undefeated. You're never going to have a team in Major League Baseball go undefeated. NFL, you can, because you just need 16 coin flips to go your way. That's
17.
Okay, now it's 17.
Now it's 17. Back then, though, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you need 17 coin flips to go your way. Having the better quarterback skews the coin flip a little bit. But in the NHL, it's as close as it gets. It's essentially a 50-50 game because of, I don't want to say fluky scoring, but you're going to understand.
Fluky goals will happen, and we saw it, like I just mentioned, we saw it screw over the Golden Knights, like the misplay by Fleury. I mean,
like don't want to call them fluky goals because obviously they're much better athletes than I could ever dream to be. But
sure,
you can get a deflection here, a deflection there, a shot here, a shot there, just a goalie,
a loose
mental
puck
lapse,
there, something like that.
You can win a game 1-0. The NBA, if you get a fluky shot, like we'll talk about the NBA later with the whole Ayton's ordeal and that. You have to make 40 shots to win an NBA game. You can make one and ride a hot goalie and win in the NHL. In baseball, you can score 1 run and win. Ride a hot pitcher, you can win, but there's 162 games, so how often is that going to happen? But in a 7-game series, Montreal can ride a hot goaltender, get a random goal here, a random goal there, and win 4-2.
Could you imagine if a team went, if an MLB team finished 162-0? Could you imagine that? Just think about how impossible that is.
Let's just throw out there that the best record, in a normal season of all time, is the 1906 Cubs. They won 116 games.
1906.
116-36. The Mariners matched that in 2001 with 116 wins, but they had 46 losses. No team's been within 30, or no team in 162 game Major League Baseball history has been within 45 games of being undefeated.
1906.
Oh yeah, and
this record
neither
was
of those
set.
Teams won the title. Would you prefer? This is the 2017 or 2016 Warriors argument. Would you prefer to set the wins record or win the title? You're winning the title.
You gotta win the title, man.
Absolutely.
You gotta win the title. But it's the fact that you said it, it strikes me that this was set in 1906. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, and
this is how hard it is to get that many wins in a number of seasons. But it's just because it's so long and you're playing almost every day. So
yeah, and even how many losses you have the 1962 Mets, 40 wins, 120 losses. That's not going to be sniffed again, probably. The Diamondbacks in fairness, the Diamondbacks are doing a pretty good job. They are currently on pace to have the worst record since I started watching baseball, although I need to recalculate that because they beat the Brewers, and they were right on the line with the 2018 Orioles that went 47-115. Either way, it's really bad. When you're talking, your company is the 1962 Mets, 40 wins, the 2003 Tigers, 43 wins. That's the worst. I believe that's the worst 162 game record. And then the 2018 Orioles, who we all know how bad the Orioles are. They won 47 games. This D-backs team, as of last Friday when I checked it, they were on pace for 46 wins. It's ugly, but it happens, And the worst MLB team in modern history won a quarter of their games. Imagine, the Jets last year won just an eighth of their games, and then they needed all of the Browns receivers to get COVID. And
don't talk to me about the Jets last year.
We're not going to talk about the Rams.
We will not.
Anyways, ready for some basketball?
Let's talk NBA.
Well, first off, we have some breaking news. Kawhi Leonard will be out for Game 4. This probably isn't shocking. We believe it's an ACL, but they're not going to tell us it's an ACL. They're going to say, hey, he's going to play. He's going to play. Chris Paul was back yesterday. It didn't seem to matter. Clippers rolled. What do you make of Suns 2, Clippers 1 so far? Still in Los Angeles, still in your Staples Center. Clippers haven't lost at Staples Center since Game 5 of the Dallas series. How are we feeling?
You're trying to get me to talk some shit about the Clippers right now.
Yeah, I'm wearing an Angels jersey, kind of.
It's not.
I'm wearing a Chargers hat.
I've said before. I don't hate Shohei. I don't hate Shohei. I think Shohei's a great player. I'm just jealous we don't have him, but I don't hate Shohei.
Yeah. Hey, you have 15 guys that are better than who would be the third best player on the Angels, and that's even considering Anthony Rendon's pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
Although, actually, if you're having the conversation, is it Trout, Ohtani, then Betts?
Trout, then Betts, then Ohtani.
Okay.
It's just because Ohtani hasn't played that long.
I hate the value argument with Ohtani because, he pitches so well and he hits so well, so therefore he's more valuable. Well, at what point, if he was a league average hitter and a league average pitcher, would you just give him the MVP every year?
No.
I don't know, because Vlad Guerrero is having the best season since Barry Bonds. We're talking the only guys to have what Vlad's doing. Granted, it's only been 70 games. The only guys that have done what Vlad's doing are either Hall of Famers or steroid users and aren't in the Hall of Fame because their names are Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. You're talking about some of the greatest power hitters ever doing this. Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, like I mentioned. Vlad Guerrero is there. Shohei's having a phenomenal season, but who knows? Let's jump back to the NBA for a moment. So Suns Clippers, what are we thinking? Game 4 on Sunday.
I mean, the Suns are just on a tear right now, but I don't really think that the Clippers are out of it. I mean, obviously they won Game 3, so they're definitely not out of it.
It cost me money. I bet on the Hawks Game 1.
Oh boy.
I bet on the Hawks and won with the Hawks. And I'm like, okay, this Suns team, they're going to win the title. They're going to beat the Clippers. They're getting Chris Paul back. Cool. At a plus 606 parlay, I'm going to sextuple my money. Awesome. And then they lose. I checked. I was watching at halftime. It's tied. Okay, I'm going to watch the hockey game, Game 6, overtime. How are you down 17 all of a sudden, Phoenix? What are you doing? So Phoenix lost me money. I had a crappy week of betting. So anyways, I don't know if I'm going to bet on tonight's game, but we do have a Bucks-Hawks Game 2 up in Milwaukee. The Hawks lead 1-0. Trae Young at 48-11 in Game 1. So this was a topic on the last night's show. Do you think it was a mistake, or do you think the mistake of trading Luka Doncic for Trae Young, do you think that's like a mistake in hindsight? Do you think both teams are happy? What do you make of it?
I don't think it was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luka is incredible. He's like a superstar at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they regret it, because I mean, since I'm kind of a basketball casual, the first example I look at is like obviously where the team's at now.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is in the playoffs.
Yes.
Dallas is not.
Well, okay.
They were in.
Yes.
And then they lost.
That's true. I'll give you that. I think, to me, I've seen the meme. I don't know if it's even called a meme, but the comparison with the 1984 NBA draft class and the 2018 NBA draft class. So you have the number 1 pick, star big, that the Rockets with Hakeem in 84 and the Suns in 18 would do again. They know they're not taking the best player in the draft, but they're going to do it again because he's an awesome player. Then 2, you have the injury-prone guy. Sam Bowie goes to Portland. Marvin Bagley goes to Sacramento. That's an L for Sacramento. And then you have Jordan goes to the Bulls in 84. Luka goes to the Mavs in 18. I understand that, and if anything, I would draw the parallel that Trae is kind of the Hakeem in this situation, that Trae is a great player. He's not better than Luka, and I don't really think there's a strong argument there. He's not better than Luka. I know the Hawks are deeper in the playoffs, but this would be the same thing as you telling me, oh, well, Josh Allen beat the Colts and the Ravens in the playoffs, therefore he's better than Deshaun Watson. It's like, no. He just has a better team than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And doesn't have the whole off-the-field issues like Deshaun Watson does. But that's a story for another time. We're talking basketball today. Luka's the better pick. The Hawks, they did add Cam Reddish in that trade, which I didn't realize until yesterday. But I think if you just swapped Trae and Luka, Dallas doesn't make the playoffs. Dallas
I can agree with that.
Isn't revolutionizing the game of basketball. And Atlanta would be a serious title contender. Like, Luka's that good. This Dallas team outside of Luka is kind of buns. Like, they kind of suck. But Luka is so good. He is so productive. This Dallas team for a stretch last year before the bubble, for like a 40-game stretch, 50-game stretch, now granted, relatively small sample size, they were the greatest offense in the history of organized sports with Luka Doncic and nothing else. So with the efficiency that Luka operates at, what he does on the floor, and he doesn't take as many dumb shots as Trae. So like, take Trae, he's a really good shooter, but he takes some of the dumbest threes imaginable. So his 3-point percentage isn't as high as you want it to be, or his field goal percentage isn't as high as you want it to be. It goes either way. But Luka is so dominant and so influential, and he plays some defense. He at least has some size. It's that James Harden thing that he's there, he's a body. It's the Carmelo Anthony thing that when he tries, he can play some decent defense. When he doesn't try, he's at least 6'6", Melo, of course, was taller, but I would take Luka over Trae, and I think if you're taking Trae over Luka, you've been led astray, you've been bamboozled, you've been run amok. And
what's that saying? We've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. I
forget the full line, but Anthony Rendon just hit a home run, and Ohtani, shout out Shohei, leadoff homer down in Tampa. Breaking news. Anyways, you want to get to some hot takes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you have any other NBA stuff? Hot takes?
Not much.
All right, let's rock and roll with some hot takes.
I'm just gonna say right now, Clippers will be out of Staples Center by 2024.
Ooh, I don't know if that's I don't think that's a hot take.
I don't know. It's not. I'm just saying that because of what you said in the beginning of the NBA talk.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So let me get the graphic up. We got milk, bell pepper, jalapeno, serrano, chili de arbol, Tabasco, cayenne, Scotch bonnet, habanero, ghost pepper, Carolina Reaper, and Pepper X. I think this is maybe the second or third week we've had Pepper X on the show. Beauty up there at the top. Let me take down the
scientifically created to be the spiciest pepper alive.
Well, some of these takes were scientifically designed to be the spiciest takes ever.
Indeed.
Let's see which ones are. First off, we got Tampa Bay. I wonder what team he's a fan of.
Not sure. I love his hot take. His hot take says the Bucks go undefeated this season.
Talent-wise, yes, they should win every game. But if it was just talent-wise, the Chiefs would have gone undefeated. Well, I guess they did play the Bucks, but the Chiefs would have gone undefeated.
If it was based on only talent, the Rams would have won the Super Bowl in 2018.
Ooh,
19 or whatever it was.
Ooh, that's okay. Okay, that
I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Okay. Yeah. No. First of all, see, when you gauge like talent, how much do you judge quarterback compared to other positions? Because say like Aaron Donald.
And I'm going to say this right now. I'm not calling Jared Goff better than Tom Brady by any means.
Oh, is he better than Patrick Mahomes? You said they won the Super Bowl. You said they won the Super Bowl.
He's not better than
Patrick Mahomes.
They played the Patriots, not the Chiefs. Let's get that clear.
Oh yeah, okay, 2018. That's a fair point. But they could. But if we're talking talent, Mahomes is better than Brady. So 2018 MVP Mahomes goes to the Super Bowl. Although I guess the Rams did win that game. But hey, it was a home game. It
wasn't even supposed to be a home game. To be fair, it was
supposed to be played in Mexico City. That was so funny. Anyways,
the field was destroyed. The thing about Mahomes though is that I feel like he should have won that game against Tom Brady.
That's fair. He didn't touch the ball in overtime.
Yeah, we know that.
In fairness, he didn't score in the first half, which is pretty bad. So, yeah, I don't know.
We could go on about this for a while.
The Bucks going undefeated. I don't think it happens. They're going to lose a game in the division. Every team does every season. I think the Bills went undefeated in the division last year, but you're playing with the Three Stooges. So 15-2, 14-3. Don't they play the Rams early? I think they lose that game.
I think they play them in like week 5.
I think they lose that game.
Week 4. Let me see. I want to get this clear so I know when I get to laugh at them or not. I don't know. I got to laugh at them last year because Jordan Fuller picked them off twice.
Yes,
picked off Tom Brady twice.
Hey,
and then talked about
the last laugh.
Then talked about I was drafted 199 too was his quote.
That's fine.
No, week 5 they play Seattle. Week 3.
Okay.
Ooh. Is that a prime? No, it's a home game. I thought that was a primetime game for a second.
All right, let's move on. We have another guy. Bucks for life. I wonder what team he's a fan of. A quarterback will not win MVP, and it will be Derrick Henry. I didn't give a rating on the last one. I'm going to say habanero. I think Tampa is clearly the most talented team in the NFL. I don't really think it's close. Like they don't have a bad unit, right? Like the Chiefs, you don't love their defense. Like the Rams, you have a new quarterback. Seattle, I don't want to talk about Seattle. San Francisco, new quarterback potentially. Browns, do you love Baker Mayfield? You don't. The secondary is a bunch of new pieces. They don't have good linebackers. Tampa Bay has no flaws. They have a top 12 quarterback. They have good running backs. They have an awesome wide receiver core. They have good tight ends. They have a good offensive line. They have a good defensive line. They have good linebackers. They have good safeties, and they have solid special team play. And they have good coaching. They have no flaws as far as I'm concerned. They should win every game. They will be favored to win every game. And maybe at Rams is a tough one to be favored in. But regardless, they're going to be favored or at least within 3 points in every game they play. They're not going to win all of those games, but
It is what
I'm going to go habanero because, like we mentioned, the best team doesn't always win. Works with hockey, works with baseball, works with basketball, and certainly works with football. Also, what up, Jack? How's it going, buddy? The other Jack.
Other Jack, yeah. That's why I didn't respond immediately.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm with you with habanero. Anyway.
So Bucks for life, I would imagine. Bucks for L. Maybe 4 L's? I don't know. A quarterback will not win MVP. Derrick Henry will. Everyone knows I don't like Derrick Henry. I know he's awesome at football. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be my top 10 players when I
You were going to probably crush me for going this high. I'm going right to Pepper X on this one. Like the NFL is just such a quarterback bias league. It's ridiculous. Like none of I think I was talking about this a lot too. I thought Justin Jefferson should have won it last year.
Yeah, rookie of the year for sure.
But then like his other closest competition was
Herbert.
Justin Herbert. What position does Justin Herbert play again?
Oh, he plays quarterback, baby.
There you go. You go. It's like, and it's just like compared to like how important those positions are, though. Quarterback is definitely the most important position in football. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But Justin Jefferson was going crazy last year.
Yeah,
he absolutely was.
I think Jefferson deserved Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't want to take it away from Herbert. Herbert was awesome. Herbert had great quarterback season, but I do think Jefferson had one of those seasons that you're going to look back on and say, yeah, that was when a superstar was born. I think Herbert's going to be really good, but that was when a superstar was born down there, up there in Minnesota.
I'm gonna give
18.
Jefferson, I think we're 18, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a pass, or Justin Herbert a pass, because he actually decided to grow his long hair back. That was the most egregious
pepperoni face, people were calling him.
Oh god, he looked like it too, man. It was
it's like no bueno. You gotta have the flow, baby.
You gotta have the flow. Take it from us long-haired people. Mine's not as long as yours, but you gotta have the flow.
All right. So quarterback not winning MVP, I would say I'm usually pretty high on that. Derrick Henry. The first part of the take is fine. I'll probably go habanero, maybe ghost pepper, because like you said, it's such a quarterback centric award. Like you're going back 2012, Adrian Peterson ran for 1,000 yards and he wasn't competing with an all-time quarterback season. However, let me raise you a question here. Say you swap Derrick Henry's 2019 and 2020 season. So Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards in 2019. Would you have had him as MVP over Lamar Jackson? Because you don't have him over Rodgers, because Rodgers had an all-time quarterback season.
No, for sure. Rodgers.
I think you can have the argument that maybe over Lamar. I would have voted for Lamar, but I think you can have the argument. It's just tough that he has this all-time great running back season, and it's going to be running backs can never win MVP. No, it's because 3 quarterbacks had all-time MVP caliber seasons, and Josh Allen deserved an MVP. He just was the second best quarterback, if you want to call him, over Mahomes. Mahomes had an all-time great season, and Rodgers had 2011 Rodgers and 2020 Rodgers. Those are the MVP. Those are the all-time. Those are the top 2. You're not top. You haven't. No one's topped those. Lamar Jackson had an awesome MVP season. 2018 Mahomes had an awesome MVP season. There are years that 2020 Henry wins the MVP. Is 2019 one of those years? I don't know. I think it would have been closer than 61-0 in terms of voting, but I don't know. I think Henry can have another gnarly year. He could break the rushing record this year.
For sure. He absolutely could.
If he's at, 2,200 yards and you don't get a quarterback performance, like you don't get a 50 touchdown year, you don't get a 5,000 passing yards, like those happen. Like those occasionally will happen. There are seasons that, 2017, Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Todd Gurley, they all had really good seasons, but how many of those win MVPs in other years? Like Matt Ryan in 2016. How often is Matt Ryan going to win MVP? 2015 Cam Newton. How often is he going to win MVP? Because there's only a handful of seasons every decade that you say, yep, that's 100% MVP season. 2011 Rodgers, 2013 Peyton, and 2020 Aaron Rodgers. Those are my top 3 MVP seasons of the last decade. You're not taking Henry over those guys, but maybe you take him over. You at least have an argument over 2012 Adrian Peterson or 2014 Rodgers. I think J.J. Watt may have deserved it in 2014. So I'm going to go habanero. I could be swayed lower if you guaranteed me that no quarterback would have a season, say, better than 2019 Lamar Jackson. I would move lower, but Aaron Rodgers is playing at another level right now.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
Got Landon M12. Texans go 0-17 without Watson. I want to go low. I really want to go really low on this, but I think they can win a game with Tyrod.
I think they can win like maybe 1 or 2 games.
I think they'll win a couple. I'm gonna go chilly to Arble. It's hard for me to pick a team to go winless. I could see it happening.
The Watson talk has really kind of calmed down though as of late. I don't really know much on that situation. I don't know. Like as far as I know, he still wants out, but like there's the whole lawsuit thing to deal with, which I don't even know what the latest on that is. So as far as I know, he's playing on Houston in 2021.
That's fair.
He might not be. I don't know. It really depends who they have in there.
I do want to touch on the comments Jack made. My biased hot take is Cam Newton for comeback player of the year. No, it's going to be Dak Prescott. Like
it's going to be Dak Prescott.
If Dak Prescott
that's not even Cowboy bias too. Like
yeah, with all due respect to Dak Prescott, he would have to physically not play a snap. It's like the Alex Smith thing we talked about going into last season. If Alex Smith plays any meaningful snaps, he wins it no matter what.
The fact that he even came into a game is enough. Considering what just happened to him,
and then considering what happened with Aaron Donald like 5 minutes later. Just Aaron Donald is a mean person. He trains with knives, folks.
That was you always like to bring that up. Aaron, yes, he trains with knives
every time.
We're gonna make that a shirt. We've been talking about
merchant. Frankie, I think I saw you in the chat. Aaron Donald trains with knives.
Make that a shirt. Desk. I will wear it.
Yeah, I would wear it too. And we can make that our logo. We can talk to Henry, our logo designer. And actually, Jack and Henry, you guys get in the workshop and instead of an Aaron Donald, get Aaron Donald with knives. Wait, Jack, do you remember when I had an Avi that was the Ravens logo with the knife?
Yeah, okay. I do remember that.
We need to do that with like a Bitmoji type of Aaron Donald. And Jack, I love Damian Harris. Let's wrap this up. This is from Killa Jurister. Russell Wilson isn't a top 7 quarterback. Like he does the same thing every year.
Off to a great start here.
He's the GOAT in the first 8 weeks of the season. Then when the weather gets colder, he sucks. And this isn't a hot take. Well, I mean, it is hot take-o-meter, so why are you telling us it's not hot take? I get what he's saying, but I do
get it.
This is
at first off, it sounded like this should be Pepper X, but then he kind of saved it when he said
he explained himself.
Like the first 8 weeks of the season, then he kind of cools off. I see it. He did that last year for crying out loud.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think you open this conversation of how much more do you value weeks 9 through 17, now 9 through 18 than you do the first 8 weeks? Like, do you? Because if you go 0-8 the first 8 weeks and then you're God tier the rest of the season, take a look at Chris Johnson the year he ran for 2,000 yards. The Titans were 0-6 and then they went 8-2 down the stretch with Vince Young. He was rushing for 150 yards. It felt like every week later in the season. Does that mean he's a better running back because he's running for 200 yards when his team is 2-7? I don't think so.
No.
Like if you're Russell Wilson, I think you can talk about regular season versus playoffs. I've been in the same conversation with Lamar Jackson. You can talk about it with Mike Trout, whatever. But if you're giving me 8 weeks of elite play every season, I will happily take that. And like Jack said, Russell Wilson gets disrespected 24/7. I agree. And I think it's the case of even when he plays poorly, and you look historically, he's played very well in January. He's played very well when it matters. Jack, do you remember the Chiefs-Seahawks game in 2018?
I believe so.
Russell Wilson outplayed MVP Patrick Mahomes that day. Sunday Night Football, biggest game of the year. Seattle I don't want to say killed. Russell Wilson put on a clinic, and he was playing against the most talented quarterback ever to play football. Russell Wilson can do that sort of thing. So I don't need to hear the Russell Wilson disrespect. He's the 4th best quarterback in football.
It's literally like
right now.
Like it's just because he has that potential. Like any given night, he can just tear it up completely, no matter who he plays against.
For sure.
That's why we have him rated so highly. And like, The way he does it too.
Ghost Pepper on that one.
Yeah.
He's definitely a top 7 quarterback. I understand the reasoning. Jack, I also agree with this. People turn a blind eye when he plays well and jump all over him when he takes a step down for a couple weeks. Totally agree.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Anyways, let's move on. We got Kamish Johnson. Deshaun plays for the Texans this year, leading them to the wild card. Increases his trade value to be traded next season. Take this one, Jack. I need a moment to. I just need a moment. Just take this.
To the wild card.
This man said to the wild card. This man said he said Texans, quote, Texans this year leading them to the wild card. I don't. Okay.
Do I have to say anything here?
With all due respect to like religion, Jesus Christ couldn't lead the Texans to 5 wins. Like,
Deshaun Watson or not, this team is not even
like what? Like I talked about it on the podcast.
I'm just gonna throw Jack's comment up here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I got,
man. I talked about it on the Packers show that having good players is important to winning football games. The Packers have a lot of good players. A lot of teams have a lot of good players. It's hard for me to name 5 players that are remotely competent, not even good, remotely competent at football on the Texans. Like, are you
Deshaun Jackson, and that's it.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Watson, yeah. I don't know why I said Jackson. I'm stuck in the Rams, but Deshaun Watson.
Like, come on now. Outside of Watson, start going through names. Now, granted, I know names aren't everything, but you have Laremy Tunsil, Brandon Cooks.
He's okay.
I like Tunsil. I like Cooks.
Oh yeah, Brandon Cooks. I like Brandon Cooks. He's a little too.
What else do they bloody have? Nothing.
Cooks is a little too concussion prone.
Okay.
Do they still have Will Fuller?
No, he's in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. I have a hot take. The uSTADIUM user base could beat the Houston Texans, assuming Deshaun Watson doesn't play.
We need to make like a whole team based on that.
that'd be a fun like one-off episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be we all make like little trading cards for like all of our players, like Ryan Potts, left tackle.
I'd be like a kicker or something.
Jason Ferrari, white cornerback. Because his favorite player is Jason Sehorn. Anyways,
look at how skinny my arms are. I'd be a kicker probably, yeah. and I suck at kicking too.
Whoa! Here we go. Hotep, friend of the show. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets 2,200 scrimmage yards.
2,200.
Yeah, that works. While Tyreek Hill leads the league in receiving yards. Mahomes throws for 58 touchdowns.
58 touchdowns, buddy.
Boy.
58 touchdowns. My
50,
God.
Let me put some perspective on this. 50's been touched 3 times. 2007 Brady had 50. 2013 Peyton had 55. 2018 Mahomes had 50. You're talking 8 there.
You are talking that Mahomes actually plays like he was paid to have like this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy is like he's a $500 million athlete right now based on his contract. He like has to play like that every single game.
Yeah,
for him to even come close to 58.
If there's a guy that's going to break the touchdown record, it would be Mahomes. Let's be real here,
for sure.
But everything has to go right for him to throw 58 touchdowns. He has to play all 17 games, and this isn't even me saying Patrick Mahomes gets injured. He has had some injuries in the past, but the Chiefs are really good, and he usually doesn't have to play week 17, and this year would be week 18. So if you're telling me if the Chiefs go 15-2, why is Mahomes out there week 18? Who cares? So that's the thing against holding this back for me, that I don't think any of these 3 things happen. In a nutshell, they would be good, but the Chiefs are so good that it would be, I think they'll be resting week 18. So I don't think Hill's going to lead the league in receiving yards because there's going to be other guys that play 17 games. Mahomes might throw for 50. I don't think he's going for 58. And Edwards-Helaire, I know he's good. I don't think he's going to be like a 1,500 rushing yard, 700 receiving yard guy.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's quite at that level yet. Like nobody even knew before Damian, what's his name? Opted out last year.
Damian Williams.
Before he opted out last year.
I think he's back.
I think he got cut though, right?
Oh, okay.
Or let me see. I want to give my info right on this as I knock my pop filter around like crazy.
Okay, I'll continue the hot takes while we're looking. Deeks, friend of the show, Diamondbacks will have a win surge after
He's on the Bears.
Break. Ah, wow, that's okay. What? I totally missed that. The Diamondbacks will have a win surge after the All-Star break and won't finish the season as the worst team in the league.
Maybe. Oh, we need to talk about this uniform thing, by the way, with the All-Star game before we wrap up.
Oh yeah, we can. We'll have.
I'll pull it up for you. You can keep going.
This. Okay. Yeah. With baseball, if you go like 6-3 if you're the Diamondbacks, right, and you go 6-3 for a stretch, let me pull up MLB records real quick. But it's not it's not unrealistic. It's not unrealistic for anything like that to happen. 2021. I guess I can. So the Arizona Diamondbacks are currently the worst team in baseball. They have 6.5. There's 6.5 games. Actually, edit. Yes. Well. Oh, well, I guess they're only 2.5 games behind the Orioles. They could definitely win like 6 out of 9 or something like that, and then be ahead of the Orioles the rest of the way. I think that's fair. I'll go jalapeno. Jack, maybe they'll win 18 straight like they lost. I don't think that happens. Imagine that. There was a team, was it the Hawks, that won? They lost 10 in a row and then immediately won 10 in a row.
I'm not sure.
There's some goofy team won. They had like this big losing streak, then won like 10 games in a row. Anyways, JWD, friend of the show, he's been on the show before.
He has.
A quarterback leads the league in rushing touchdowns. It's not going to be Lamar Jackson, and I think Derrick Henry's going to have like 20 rushing touchdowns this season. So I can't imagine, like, take prime Cam 2011, he had 14. Like, I don't think Josh Allen's going to get there. I don't know.
Do we want some breaking news really quick, by the way?
Yeah, throw it up.
I mentioned Nikita Kucherov earlier. He is taking warm-ups for Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I don't know if that means he plays, but he is at least taking warm-ups. So it looks like it feels like he's on the right track to play if he's taking warm-ups.
Oh, Ohtani hit a home run that landed above the scoreboard in Tampa.
Jesus.
It really is showtime. Anyways, that's the third time I've done that. This is from Chef Squill. Not a hot take. Okay. In your current athletic state right now, who could kick a game-winning field goal 35 yards and who would absolutely shame
God, I would my kick wouldn't even get off the ground, man.
I
haven't tried it, but I need to be wearing like full gear or at least the proper shoes to try to kick a ball.
Yeah.
I wince at the thought of it.
I went to the College Football Hall of Fame last year. Actually around this time last year, and there was a little section that you try a field goal. I think it was maybe 20 yards, 25 yards. It's really hard to get the ball off the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I have the ultimate respect for Justin Tucker. Any kicker, any level, middle school kicker, high school kicker, peewee kicker. I don't care.
Name drops Justin Turner though.
Well, yeah, the best kicker. The most accurate kicker in NFL history.
He is. I'm not going to attribute that to Ravens bias.
I don't know. I think I could kick a ball 35 yards, like a soccer ball 35 yards. I don't know if I could kick a football 35
I'm not
yards.
kicking a football that far at all. I'm shanking it 100%.
All right, this is from WDBZ, Jason. Lamb is a better quarterback than a running back. Yes, he is. Actually, the thing, okay, we're gonna have a heart-to-heart. Folks at home, when you tell me Lamar Jackson is a great scrambling quarterback, I disagree. He doesn't scramble that often. Mahomes scrambles more. Watson scrambles more. Russell Wilson scrambles more. A lot of what Lamar Jackson does on the ground, most of his 1,206 yards in 2019 or his 1,006 yards in 2020, those come as designed runs. That's the Greg Roman. That's the Colin Kaepernick. That's the Tyrod Taylor. That's the read option. That's the stuff you run in Madden. It's not scrambles. It's a lot of option. It's a lot of quarterback power. It's a lot of quarterback counter. It's a lot of quarterback draw. It's pick your play, but it's a quarterback designed run, folks. So
they engineer the playbook around him because of his ability to run the football so well.
Correct. Michael Vick in Atlanta. I have the Atlanta thing up here. I watched Michael Vick a little bit. Michael Vick was not running the designed plays. He was scrambling. almost exclusive scrambles. He had a couple quarterback draws here or there. Almost exclusively scrambles. Lamar Jackson, as far as I can remember, his only scramble touchdown this season was in the playoff game against the Titans. Every other long touchdown run, take the 4th and 2 against Dallas, take the long touchdown he had against Philly, the long touchdown he had against Washington, take the one that he spun around the guy in Cincinnati in 2019. All of those are designed plays. So don't tell me Lamar's a great scrambler. He's really Kyler's a better scrambler. Anyways. This is from Smoke Skulls. Last hot take before we get into these interesting jerseys.
Interesting for sure.
Smoke Skull says the Raiders make the playoffs. I don't want to disagree with you. I want to agree with you. The Chargers are better. The Chiefs are better. Done.
Yeah, it's good luck even getting out of your division. First of all.
Yeah. So back to full screen. Yeah. Let's see these abominations.
We're gonna go to I have these images from my favorite website, sportslogos.net. Here we are. With the 2021 MLB All-Star jerseys that, for the first time, will be worn during the game. That's fine with me. I don't care if they're worn during the game or not. I prefer them
wearing their normal home away, but, it's cool.
I don't care if they're worn during the game. Unless they're this atrociously bad.
At least other years, there's, some color there, and, I just disagree with the color choice.
Here's the other one, by the
way. What are you doing? Okay, MLB. Who created these? Nike. Okay, Nike.
Yeah.
Nike headquarters up in Oregon. How much cocaine did you snort? How much alcohol did you consume?
Nike is trying to take what they've done with the NBA and apply them to baseball jerseys.
How many times were you dropped as a child?
But it's
what is this? What is this? What is ATL? What is R? I can't even spell. What is ARI? What is LAD? What is that? Why is that there? Jack, proposal. If you took out the red letters on these, would they look okay?
They look better than they do now.
Correct.
Oh my god. Or even if they changed the placement of these letters. If they just had them below the
what if it was diagonal, like the old Penguins jerseys or the Rangers jerseys?
That'd be a little hard to pull off with baseball. You'd have to make them pullover jerseys or something.
That's true.
They did. I think they did with the Players Weekend ones. If they did that,
did you know that Shane Bieber's nickname is not Justin? If you go to baseball, everyone try this at home. This is a TikTok challenge. If you type in "not Justin" on baseballreference.com, it will pull up Shane Bieber. Actually, why don't I just show this off to the world? Jack, do you have anything else to say before we wrap it up? We can wrap it up with this Shane Bieber stuff.
Go for it. Just do it. I got nothing else, man.
All right. Whoa, there it is. Okay. So everyone knows 2021 or 2020 AL Cy Young Award winner, Mr. Shane Bieber, right?
Yeah.
Really good. Won the Triple Crown across all of baseball. That never happens. Granted, it was only 60 games. This year he hasn't been quite as good. Let me stop screen share again. Wow, my computer chose this time to freeze. Share screen, Chrome tab. Here we are. And boom. Let me take this down one final time. Here we go. If you type in "not Justin,"
they don't even look anything like each other. How would that be?
It's just the Bieber. It's just honestly the Bieber.
And on that note,
we will be back next. Oh dear, edit overlay name. I don't want to do that. We will be back next Saturday, same time, 6:30.
Friday.
But I said that. Wow. Okay.
We'll be back on Friday.
Next Friday, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, 4:30 Mountain.
Probably with a Stanley Cup final preview. Or a review of Game 1 or something like that. They usually wait a week, but I don't know how long that lasts. But we'll talk about that for sure.
We have a new segment coming.
We do.
We're going to ask our wonderful fans. We only have a couple people watching, but there's going to be people that watch throughout the week. If you want your chance to dethrone the king if you want your chance to dethrone the national champion, I'm no longer reigning national champion, but I won in 2019. If you want to dethrone me and come on and beat me at sports trivia, I also have a finalist plaque here. I got all these down from my bookshelf, and I'm finally. If you wanted to beat
you're
me,
sick and tired of just talking shit at Splash on the app, and you actually want to take him down for once,
this come on, your chance. Bro. Yeah,
we will be doing a new segment soon, next week, called Squash the Splash.
Squash me, baby.
It will be trivia related. We don't have a format yet, but we're gonna have one come up. We're gonna come up with it. We're gonna let you guys come on, and we're gonna have some fun with trivia.
Can you beat me at trivia, folks? Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I think there are some weak spots sometimes in my trivia knowledge, but I think I can give it.
I don't know. I have to look at these questions again. So hopefully there are some weak spots. Hopefully not. Or hopefully there are. We'll make it interesting. We'll figure it out. We'll give away some stuff as well. Some points on the app or something as well.
Bang. With that said, folks, I'm not going to be squashed today. Maybe next week. Who knows? You could be. Maybe you. Not you. Look a little bit over to the right. Yeah, you. There you go. Right there. You right there. You could beat me. You're probably not, but you could theoretically.
You could
there's an alternate universe that I am a fashion trivia buff, not a sports trivia buff. Anyways, with that said, it's no longer showtime. Peace out. We will see you next week.
Peace out, and don't forget that Aaron Donald trains with knives.
I will not be wearing this jersey next week. I wish I could end Jack.